What's up, baby? This is Deontay the Bronze from Wilder. Make sure you tap into Black Authentic Truth for your latest news. It's great information, baby. Bomb Squad!
It's Tariq Nasheed right here in Los Angeles, making it do what it do, man. Y'all check out Black Authentic Truth. Get some real good games on YouTube. Black Authentic Truth, man. Check it out, man. Real good information.
Man, you know what's going on. It's your boy Geechee Gotti. I'm rocking with Black Authentic Truth. You want to learn something? Tune in, man. Get your knowledge up. Get your history up, man. Know about something, man. You know what time it is, man. Geechee Gotti, Black Authentic Truth, man. Like and subscribe.
Black man, I have an obligation to my race of people, not to no other race, or no other nationality, just to black people.
And you have always hated us. We have loved you consistently for 400 years. We prayed to that white Jesus, and we saluted your flag, and we died in your militaries, and you beat us like dogs.
This is Black Authentic Truth. Hey, what's good with y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? It's Thawahgabar in the house for Black Authentic Truth. Let me remove this. Hey, listen, man. I'm definitely going hours after I usually would go. So I ain't gonna waste no time. I'm gonna get right into it. Listen, brothers and sisters that didn't catch it, I ain't even mad at you. You can catch it live, catch the replay tomorrow. But I had to, drop something for the people that follow me, that rock with me. And, of course, this is something that I like to do. It's something that's growing on me, going live. And so I'm going to get right into it. As you read the title, I want to talk about the brother Kyle Philbert James, the midshipman in the Navy that was found deceased. Also, the leaked text from the Republicans, and then we'll get into some other things. In South Africa, the president is like, nah, you can't be twerking. You going to jail. And so I'll talk about that among other things. And so right away, I want to get into the story with this 20-year-old brother, which is a very, very sad story. Very, very sad. And so I got two videos I'm going to play, little small clips, and then we'll talk about it. All right. So let me grab this first video.
Investigating the death of a 20-year-old midshipman from Morris County. Authorities say Kyle Philbert James, a junior at the military school and a native of Whippany in Hanover Township, was first reported missing on October 9th after failing to show up for his classes. According to reports, James's mother received a call from the academy that evening stating he couldn't be located and later confirmed his death. The Naval Academy hasn't released details about where or how James was found and says the circumstances are under investigation. Now, in a statement, officials there said, quote, "It is painful to lose a member of our Naval Academy family, and as we attempt to better understand this tremendous loss, we offer our deepest condolences to Philbert James's family, close friends, classmates, and company mates." James was majoring in history and was a member of the school's gospel choir. Congresswoman and gubernatorial nominee Mikey Sherrill also extended condolences to his family, saying she was proud to nominate Kyle to the academy.
As soon as we got to their home, you could feel their pain.
Please help me find it.
Maria Laurent tries to comfort her daughter Diane, whose only child is now missing. Kyle is a midshipman at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. Thursday morning around 6:30, his mother sent him a text. Diane is a religious woman. She said, "Lord, thank you for Kyle. Give him peace. I love you, Kyle." Kyle replied, "I love you more." She didn't think anything was wrong until the Naval Academy called her around 5 that afternoon.
I got a phone call from his battalion officer at the Naval Academy telling me that he didn't show up for any of his classes.
Kyle's grandmother has been trying to get more information. She called the Naval Academy.
I asked the lady, "Did you question the roommate?" She told me she can't give me this information.
Kyle has been at the Naval Academy for 3 years. He and his mom are very close. They text almost every day. His whole family is upset and worried, and his aunt says she called Baltimore police a couple of times and says there was no report filed for a missing person.
The only information that he had was Kyle was a little bit stressed out, and he didn't show up to none of his classes throughout the day, but they questioned the roommate and then they questioned his colleagues.
But that's it. That's all they know. His mother says Kyle loves being at the academy and never misses his classes. She says he got a new roommate this year, and he likes his roommate. Now, all they can do is wait and pray.
I went to visit him in September, their parents' weekend, and I went to visit him. He was really happy. He was really happy when he saw me.
So this story is before they found his body. And you can hear in that video, you could hear the pain of his mother, the pain, the horror of hearing that her son, who always talked to her on a daily basis, was now missing, and they didn't know where he was. And now they have found this 20-year-old brother deceased, and the family can't get any answers. And it's really sad because, when it comes to Black and brown people, historically, there's always been things happening to young Black and brown men and women that enter whatever branch of the military. And the truth rarely comes out because the military will always protect their own. Now, the key words are internal investigation, which you already know that they know more than what they're giving out right now. And like the auntie said, he had a roommate. Surely that roommate would know what happened, but they're not giving out any information. And my advice to Black people is that you should not encourage your children to go into the United States military. Now, I say that because of the history of how Black people have gotten treated. And many times when we, as Black and brown people, we are young, we are, thinking, what can we do with our lives? How can we make something of ourselves? And in our community, it is never about being some good patriot. It's never about that. It's about making something out of yourself. And so generation after generation, the advice is you should go into the military if you don't have any prospects going on. Meaning if you're not playing sports, no scholarships and nothing like that, you should go into the military. And that's why we go into the military. We don't go into the military because we're overwhelmingly patriotic. We go into the military because we're just trying to, figure things out and make something of ourselves, in which we think that, that will lead to something. At least we can say, we have some footing and some foundation by entering the military. Well, when we enter that military, there are a lot of things that go on in that military that does not get talked about. There's a lot of sexual assaults that have happened to Black women. There's a lot of unalivings of Black women in that military, brown women in that military, Black men in that military. I think probably a month ago, there was one of those officers was threatening that he was going to unalive his peers. He was going to do a mass unaliving. And one of those, I don't know what branch it was, but it was about a month ago. There was one of these youngsters that was, basically saying that. So when these things happen, what we see, and historically what we have seen, is that you can't get any answers, and that the higher ups in the military are going to cover things up. It's the same as with law enforcement, where they say, we're going to have an internal investigation. We're going to, wait till we can fully find out what happened, when usually they already know what happened. Usually they're just trying to figure out a story for the public and the family of the victim. That's usually the case. And so you just can't trust it. And in my opinion, what happened to this young brother, there's definitely some foul play. Hey, what's good with you, Black Rain 303? With this brother, I feel like there's definitely some foul play. Definitely some foul play. Because he talked to his mother every day. He was a part of the church. He loved being there. And he had just got a new roommate. He had been there for 3 years. And he just got a new roommate. So there's definitely some foul play. And unfortunately, when we are in institutions like this, we as Black and brown people don't have the power to get the answers we really need. And so they can sway this story any kind of way. Because you are in the dark, the family is in the dark, and there is no transparency in what is going on, they can come out and say, well, we found evidence that, like they said in one of those stories, we found evidence that he was, upset about something. They can start building a little fake story in order to explain away how this 20-year-old young Black and bright man lost his life in a naval facility. All right. So that's that, brother. Okay. Now I want to play another video.
If you go out of your way to avoid Black people,
I'm sorry, let me scoot it back.
White people aren't racist if they avoid Black people. If you go out of your way to avoid Black people, you're not racist.
I just want to get to that first point. She said white people are not racist if they avoid Black people. I agree. You're not racist if you're not Black and you're avoiding Black. And likewise, as a Black person, you're not racist if you avoid white people. That's a preference. Okay, let me let it play so we can get to the gist of this.
Why would you want to be put in a predicament? You never know what's going to happen. You truly don't. You could look at them wrong and they get mad and loud and aggressive. So if avoiding Black people for your own safety is racism now, well, then I guess I'm racist. I guess I care more about my well-being and my family and my life. So I'll take it. I guess I'll be racist.
So what I'm gathering is she's saying if avoiding black people is racist, then I'll take it. Here's the thing, y'all. White people have always avoided black people. White people never wanted black people around. But like the thing is why are you making something? Why are you making an argument that is not even there? Why are you making an angle that it ain't really there? But what really is there is that white people have always segregated themselves. I guess we forgot that black people wanted to integrate. White people didn't want to integrate. I guess we forgot that. Let's keep going.
If that's what it means, because it means a million things. It means a million things. I feel like we have enough to deal with in this world, let alone people that live in the cities can't even take public transportation. They can't even go into a gas station. They can't even go into a store. When I go to the city, I avoid certain gas stations. I know that that's the cracky gas station. I know that's the ghetto gerbs. I know it. You can just look at it and you know exactly what you're going to get when you go in there. Just like going to Popeyes in the city, just like going to Cane's in the city, just like going to KFC in the city, just like going to Burger King in the city. God forbid they fuck your order up. God forbid. You take it back one time, you get an attitude. They mess it up again, you take it back again. They're about to throw hands. They're going to throw hands over food. I'm sick of people telling white people that they're racist because they want to avoid confrontation. There's a difference between avoiding confrontation and being afraid of confrontation. We're not afraid of confrontation. Okay. We just have shit going on in our lives to where we can control our emotions because we have a family to come home to. We have a family to come home. That's a big difference between being a wussy and a sissy, like we're called, just because we don't want to go fight. It's not that we can't fight. We don't want to.
I don't see anything wrong with anything that she's saying. And more importantly, I guess.
There's two parts to this video, and I want to respond to the white woman and I want to respond to this brother. Okay. I do see something wrong with it because it's a figment of her imagination. What she just did was basically generalize black people, saying she don't want to go certain areas in the city because she's going to get a problem. She brought up another scenario of if you got to change your order at a fast food place, they're going to get an attitude. She brought up a lot of stereotypes and she brought up a lot of things that do happen, but these are generalizations. I'm sure they never happened to her. But you see, she made something out of nothing. And that's typically what you see them do when they talk about what black people do in the city, or they talk about black on black crime. I say, how does that even affect you? Why is it your business? Why is it your problem when the white community has a plethora of problems, plenty problems that they have that you never see them talking about? They're never talking about the opioid crisis, the fentanyl crisis. They're never talking about these things. You know, so those generalizations, we can make it from both ends. Excuse me. We can make those generalizations from both spectrum, both sides. Okay. And so every situation is not what it always appears. And so I can generalize, the white community, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because facts are facts and it's going to be what it is going to be anyway. Like, I'm not the type of person to just say, all white people this, all white people that, because I know it's nuance to everything. I know that, in general, I can say these things, but the stereotypes, I don't even care. Well, black people don't care. We don't care like that. So those are the things I find wrong with what she's saying, is that she's really trying to just find an angle to use and create something. Create a generalization based off a racial stereotype. No, you're not racist if you don't want to be around black people. Me as a black person, black people, we choose where to go also. We don't want drama and confrontation. You get what I'm saying? So the problem is when they try to make something just a black thing, like a black service worker, fast food worker will get angry and get an attitude if you bring your food back. I've experienced white people doing that, working in fast food. I experienced rude white waitresses. You get what I'm saying? Don't try to make like these scenarios like they are only they only pertain to black people, because they don't. Let me keep going. Now, this brother said he ain't got no problem with it, and I want you to listen to what he says.
Yes. If you think about it, I do the same thing, and respectful black people do the same thing, and respectful Asians and Latino people that have a family to go home to and things that they want to actually see in their lifetime and they want to live to tomorrow, because it's people that don't have anything to live for, and because we know that if you go into ghetto spaces inside of liberal cities, that it's a possibility that it can go left and it can.
Let me just say also is that what I forgot to say is that white people avoid other white people. You get what I'm saying? Like when I said black people, we're smart enough to know situations. Not all black people are smart enough to know that, but level-headed, mature black people can see a situation and say, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to say this because I don't know how somebody will react. And we avoid it. Same as with white people. White people see situations and see other white people and avoid them. So like I said, going back to what I said, this is not singular. Avoiding confrontation in situations where you might not make it home doesn't just pertain to black people. Okay, let me keep going.
Go up. And for white people, it's even worse because they see y'all as food, because now y'all have been made the enemy and the poster child for the enemy of America has now become the heterosexual white man. And I've always said that.
What? He said a lot of things, and some of the stuff I'm not going to even deal with, right? But I heard him say something about, these cities are run by liberals, right? And, I'll be honest, I'm learning about, liberals and Democrats and the infighting, the infighting that they have. And when something happens, how they blame things on each other, like children. I'm learning more about, the GOP and all of that stuff. And so what I can understand is, the basics is what that, when it comes to where they say black people are or ghettos are or crime is, these cities is run by liberals or Democrats, and the good places are run by Republicans. The benevolent, nice areas, well-to-do areas are run by Republicans. And the thing is like, I see a lot of black people in this type of space and taking these type of viewpoints. And I'm like, as black people, it's like, we don't have a mind of our own. Like, you don't have to be in any party to want to live good, to do good, to be respectful to other people. They make it seem as though being in this party or that party comes with certain traits in how you behave. When there's so much nuance and there's so many differences among people, you can't put a blanket term and say, this is how these people act. This is how these people are. You can go to any neighborhood and find horrible, terrible people. You can find mass unalivers in some of the best neighborhoods in America. And you can go to the ghetto in some of the worst urban areas and find decent, good, wise, knowledgeable, courteous people. So Black people got to get off the plantation. A lot of Black people, you're stuck. You know, it's see, to me, it's when it comes to this political, the way these political people think, that type of thought process is good for white folks because that's who made the system. But when you start seeing Black people that echo the sentiments of these same party people, whether it's Republican or Democrat, you have to say to yourself, these people are slaves mentally, because you're running with the notion that this is how you view everyone, through this lens, through the Democratic lens, through the liberal, conservative, whatever the lens is. That's how you view stuff, which is insane to me because there are good people everywhere. There are bad people everywhere. There are white people that avoid other white people, other bars, other restaurants where they know certain white people are. I mean, let's be real. Anyway, I think I said what I wanted to say when it comes to this particular story. You know, I hope I broke it down the best way I could. And what I saw when I initially seen this video is just like, there's 2 points. It's like, don't try to make things like it's just Black people that do it. And don't pull things out of the air that never happened to you or you never experienced to say, this is why I don't go around Black people. The fact that we as Black folks don't even try to do those things. Like usually when you hear Black people talking about white folks and with some type of racial undertone behind it, it's because Black people have been attacked verbally first. Usually Black people are responding to some type of racial hatred, some type of remark or something like that. It's usually, that's how it is. We're reacting to something. Okay, it's not in our nature to just seek out these people and point out statistics like they do. Like, damn, who is sitting around crunching numbers on to prove that they are the worst group of people? Black people are not doing that. I want you to think how diabolical that is, and you know how low self-esteem that is to always try to find a way to make one group of people look worse than you. Like, that needs to be studied, how a group of people want to, first of all, a group of people that can't be matched in, you know, the horrific things they have done in the past, right? But now they want to show how you as a people are worse, the worst people of them all. Like, is that something that's dealing with their psyche and their consciousness in the background? They're like, white guilt. I want to prove that, yeah, we did this thing, but these people right now in Chicago, you know, those people in Chicago, you know, they're terrible. Like, what is that all about? We don't do that, Black Rain. We don't. When have you seen Black people like really try to like crunch numbers and just regular average people just out of the blue say, well, you know, white people, 77% does this. They're 77, you know, they're 100% the pedophile, number one pedophile. They're this. Black people don't do that. We know it exists, but we're not crunching number. We're not trying to prove to white people that they're diabolical and they're devils and all. We're not even trying to prove it to them, even though they may be, but we're not trying to prove it. We don't go about our everyday lives laying up thinking about, white people at a trailer park. Yeah, those white people is selling all them drugs and them opioids and that fentanyl. Yeah, then they got the Ku Klux Klan and they committing crimes and they getting away and they have shootouts with biker gangs. We're not sitting around doing that. We're just not. We don't even care, you know? Anyway, there's another video I wanted to go into. I don't want to take too long. probably go for about another, let's just say another 40 minutes. All right. Remove this. I found this video interesting. Something to talk about, okay?
Y'all claim don't exist no more. I had that type of man. I had him. And I lost him because I was stupid, foolish, young, immature, possessive, mean, with a nasty attitude, ungrateful, entitled, and ignorant. I had a good man. And I lost him because I, first of all, was shocked that I even got somebody like that. I had never had nobody like that before. And I went into overdrive just doing stupid shit to try to control him and put my claws into him. And it was unnecessary because I had somebody who loved me for real and did not cheat. Loyal. Oh, loyal. If you got some man like that, please do the work. Be appreciative and be grateful. Don't be entitled. Do kind and nice things for him. Don't just be a taker. Give back. Respect him. Oh, respect him. Because that man, baby, he gone. He with a new woman. And she looked happy as hell. She looked happy as I did when I was with him. I'm happy for her. You live, you learn. But I'm here to tell you, you guys always say, oh, there's no good men that don't exist. They exist, but they are rare. And if they came into your life, take this message as go get some therapy, go get some help, go heal, go work on yourself, and pour back into that man, because a good man will wake up one day. Good men are not blinded to the fact that they are a wonderful person to be with. They just love your ass. And when they love you, they stay and they stay and they stay and they stay because they hoping you will get it together one day. They're not staying with you because they don't know that they're a good man and they may not be able to get anything else. Oh, baby, he know. He counting down on your clock. He counting down on your clock. So work on yourself. Don't lose no good man, because I'm going to tell you, they are rare. And since I've been out here in these streets, it ain't nothing for me in these streets. They all trash. That's all. That's the tea. That's the word. I hope I can help somebody today.
So first of all, I would just give this sister a round of applause, because rarely do you hear women or men admit to their faults. That's very, very rare. So this is not necessarily about, a good man. This is for both genders. To be honest with yourself, and how you treat people, and be honest with the reality. She said in her situation, listen, he was a good man. He was, loyal. It almost felt like she wished she could have him back, didn't it? But she said he done moved on. And the woman he is with looked as happy as she looked when she was with him, but she needed to work on herself. And now she realized it afterwards. That's a thing. Like when you encounter, this is some advice. When you encounter a woman and she's a beautiful woman, she's attractive, and she has been through multiple relationships, or let's just say she's been in a relationship or she's been married before, and now that man is happily married, produced with new children that they done produced, you better ask some questions. You better think about it. You better find out what was going on or why that didn't work out. Because obviously she attracted you. But there's something going on that you don't know about, because obviously this man done went on. Meanwhile, she is still single and she's still in and out of relationships. But this man got another woman, got married, and had more children and is living happily ever after. That should be a sign to a lot of y'all. And it goes vice versa, you know? But the honesty with what's going on with yourself, like what are you dealing with? Whether it be anger management, whether it be maybe you need therapy, maybe there's some unresolved problems from past relationships. Maybe you need to be on medication. But you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself of why that past relationship didn't work. This sister was like Black Rain said, she was breaking it down. She was breaking it down, and you can see her sincerity, and you can see that she has growth because she's able to say, the woman looked just as happy as I looked when I was with him. Oh, he was such a good man. Oh, he was so loyal. And she's saying, I hope that this helps someone else out. That's how she ended the video. I hope someone can learn from this. There's a lot of people online talking about relationships, a lot of Black podcasters that are talking about relationships, and they are not, honest in their talking points. They're not honest with them situations. They're not seeing what is really the problem. They're not giving the advice that people need. Only someone that actually done been through it and then learned from those losses could actually give good advice. Like this sister, this was some good advice, and I think a lot of people should hear something like this. In this case, a lot of women. But when a relationship breaks down, this pertains to both genders. So a man also, you can look at things that you've done and where it went wrong and what you could have done better, if you could have done anything better, and be honest with yourself and say, well, okay, I need to work on this. I should work on that. Because if y'all was meant to be and soulmates and all of that stuff, people be saying, and then it ends, but you still single, and the woman has found a new husband, and now years later living happy with children, married with children, then maybe you have some problems. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you were the problem in that relationship. Like, it's clear to see with her, she was the problem in the relationship because she's single, but the man done moved on. And now he's happy with a woman that can appreciate that she got a decent man. All right. So yeah, let me drop this. Talk about the Republican. I'm gonna read a little bit, okay? There is no real pictures on this one. There was some video, but so there were races. The Young Republicans is a group of young Republicans that's nationwide, organization, and text messages between them were leaked on a text messaging chain, and they were saying some racist things on these text messages. And so now these people were let go, but they represented states like New York, Kansas, Arizona. You get the picture, right? So this is called, it's called the Young Republicans, and these are up and coming leaders. So I'm gonna read some of what it says about what actually happened. So just to give a background, okay, the Young Republican National Federation includes members aged 18 to 40 with a chapter in every state. It recruits and trains young people to run for political office. So these are the young people that will be the leaders of tomorrow. Okay. Now, a leaked telegram a telegram message was leaked, and it contained 28,000 exchanges from January to August 2025 among the leaders of the young Republican chapters in Arizona, Vermont, Kansas, and New York, including at least one member from the Trump administration. This is the controversial part. The chat discussed votes, social media strategies, and logistics. It also included racist and anti-Semitic slurs, white supremacist slogans and symbols, comments encouraging grape of political opponent. Let me read that again. Comments encouraging grape, sexual assault, of political opponents to drive them to taking their own lives. I'm not going to say the S word. It also had praise for Adolf Hitler, promotion of gas chambers, and enthusiasm for Republicans believed to support slavery. Members referred to Black people as monkeys and the watermelon people. One member stated, "I'll go to the zoo if I wanted to watch monkey play ball," about an invitation to an NBA game. The slurs of the F word, agate, the other word, the R word for someone that is mentally slow, and the N word appeared over 251 times. In discussing a defeat in an election for chair of the Young Republicans National Federation, one member called for the winner to be graped. Now, these are the future leaders of America. The future leaders of America that are being groomed for the GOP, the Republican Party. This is what they are texting amongst each other. One of the people were in Donald Trump's cabinet. I mean, are we surprised? We're not surprised. Now, all of them have been let go from their positions. Okay. This has come out and now it's gaining condemnation from both sides, from, the Democrats and the Republicans. And they took in these young Republicans out of their seat. Here's the thing, though. The thing is that it was made public. And anytime they slip up and something like this is made public, they got to make an example of those people that are involved to be able to hold on to the public trust. They want the public to know that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing and, ethical and moral in their decisions from a standpoint of where is the justice. And so a good example of that, and this always happens, but y'all remember that was years ago. It was some years ago where Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers, I believe it was either a phone call or text messages came out about him calling the NBA players monkeys. Or where he had a Black girlfriend who was like, middle. He was an older, I believe he might have been Jewish, but older white man, has some model Black chick that was at a game sitting next to Magic Johnson. And he was upset about it. And he basically said something to the point of like, you can't be at games in front row sitting next to monkeys, something like that. But when this came out, it was wild because he's the owner of the Clippers. The Clippers is full of Black people, Black NBA players. And so what the NBA did was said, okay, you got to sell the team. They made him give up the team, right? He can no longer, because of the racial element there, you can't have an owner that talk like that. with all black players. So what I'm saying is they're all a part of the team. This is how they talk behind the scenes. But if one of them is sloppy enough to get caught or exposed in the public arena, then they have to make an example of those particular people. When it comes to white America, they do this, but it's not like it's any type of penalty. It's not hurting them, but it would hurt if people start to lose trust. If the American people start to look at, these Republicans like they are racist. So in order to keep the integrity, to make it look like it's still integrity, they'll say, okay, well, you got to step down. Step down. You can hold some lower position or you can be around, but you can't be in the public eye like that anymore. We got to make a statement with this one. We got to regain that public trust. And so this is the same thing with this, this young Republicans thing. They'll still be around. It's the same thing when an officer unalives a black person or a brown person. What do? They, suspend them, they let them go, and then they find another job in another town. They just, they're just doing that so people don't riot in the streets. They're doing that so that people say, you know what? I still believe in the system because they did the right thing right there. There was no other thing they could have done but what they did. So that's all that is, right? That's it. Now I want to talk about this one. This one is crazy. It's not crazy, but it's different. It's something that's needed more in the world, particularly in America.
Video of a certain radio host from our country. I think her name is Penny Ntuli, if I'm not wrong. Now, this radio host is twerking on a very busy road. The cars and transits are passing by and she is just twerking shamelessly. I'm ordering for immediate arrest of that female radio host.
That's crazy. So this is South Africa. This is the president of South Africa. And there is a video of a woman that is a media radio personality that was on the side of a highway with her friend twerking. And he says, without any shame. And he is ordering for her immediate arrest. This is in South Africa. This is South Africa. Like, you got to just give it to these type of countries, these African countries. Another country is Burkina Faso with the leader right now. I think his name is Abraham, the one that they have made attempts on his life. I believe it. I think they even said, I think it was probably the United States that made attempts of assassination on his life. Or offered to pay one of his security guards like $5 million to take him out, and the security guard didn't do it. I could be, off a little bit on the details, but that's pretty much it. But they wrote into law in September that you cannot be LGBTQ, or you are going to face 2 to 3 or 3 to 5 years in prison. These African countries are not playing about the destruction of the West. The lifestyle that we live out here in America, they're not playing about that type of lifestyle. And they'll be damned if it's going to infiltrate their countries. All of that behavior that we have, our people have here in America, that America promotes, like just twerking anywhere, anytime you feel like it. When you get the feeling, you start twerking. They're not playing that. Black Rain, you said and France. They're not playing that. So I respect that. Listen, none of these people are my people, but I respect those leaders that stand for something and don't want to see the destruction of their people by watching what happens on TikTok and what happens on social media and what the influences are in America. They don't want that to be their country. They're cool on that. They're cool on that. And the fact that they're speaking like this says that these countries are better than America. Morally. Morally, they're better. These type of countries will produce better young women, better young girls. They're saying you don't have to act shamelessly in public. And then you have women out here in America that will say, when you speak against that type of behavior, they'll say, well, you know, this is part of our ancestry. They twerk in Africa. No, the hell they don't. The twerking originated in the motherland. You can't just put that jacket on all Africans. There's more than 54 countries in Africa. So who are you talking about? Then you're going to have to prove that you specifically come from those people. Not in South Africa. South African president is like, nah, that's not behavior becoming of a woman. That's shameless behavior. And you're going to get arrested. All right. Oh, France made an attempt. That's crazy, man. They got something going on over there. It's something in that soil that these European nations won't. You know what I mean? But their integrity, because if that was here in America and the United States government come and offer a nigga $5 million, he gonna do whatever. The problem with taking that money is then after you take that money and do that deed, then they're gonna take you out. So that the truth never comes out. But they got integrity though. That's integrity. That's love for your people. And that's also loyalty to not just your people, but the man who leads your people. You know what I mean? In America, Black people is so stressed out over, resources and having some money in their pocket that a Black man will sell his brother out for $1,500. We're not even talking about $5 million, but and I'm not saying that like that's who we are. I'm just saying that we're so lost as a people and we think our problems are money related and our stress is all money related, that anything when it comes to money and it comes to gaining anything, we will betray one another with the quickness. And then at the end of it, say it wasn't never even worth it. I should have never did it. All right. So I think that's about it. I do have a Black Authentic Truth story that I want to I will read, but I want to talk. I think I talked about it earlier with that situation with the brother about, Democrats, Republicans, and a lot of times with us as Black people, we make what we do or our accomplishments our whole identity. We make what we do or our accomplishments our whole identity, and we live in that. And the party that we follow, you make it your whole identity when that is not our identity. We are God's chosen people, okay? These other peoples, when they're here, what they do is not their identity because they know who they are. they are still linked to their heritage. Their great-great-grandparents, they have a continuous line. Even a lot of Africans, they have a continuous line. Everybody except for Black people in America. We don't have that continuous line. So we're definitely missing out on a integrity that other nations do have, a pride that other nations do have. So our pride leaves from who we are, because in our mind, all we look at, or all we kind of believe, even if we don't say it in the back, in out loud, in the back of our mind, we look at ourselves as like, okay, we were the people who were enslaved. And because of that, what we do is we say, my identity is my accolades. You see these things on the wall, you see all these degrees on the wall, you see all the things that I've accomplished. My identity is, this great, excellent job that I got. And I can go on a vacation when I want to. My identity is, whatever the case may be, but those things are not who we are. What you have is not your identity. Your identity is you are a royal people. You are a spiritual people. And like the video that I brought out last week, the young lady was saying, the reason why the devil goes so hard at Black people is because we done lost our connection from spirituality. We done lost our connection from the Most High power. She didn't say that, but I'm saying it. We done lost our connection from the Most High power. So we can be as great as we want to be, as rich as we want to be, as talented, as smart as we want to be, but we will still remain in the same place in America and in the world until we recognize and start living like we are actually God's chosen people. I was just talking to my brother this evening, and he was saying his family, they just came from Egypt. And in Egypt, they were telling them that Moses was Black like us. Was telling them that Black people built the pyramids. Black people are the real Jews. And the other brother said, well, why we don't know this here is because we're here in America. And America is the land of confusion and full of lies and full of misleading things. And so for us to hear, hey, you are those real people, a lot of people can't even put that together, because it's like, damn, our people really was in Egypt, in Israel. Yeah, they were. That's why it's so much of an effort to keep you in a low level, in a low state. They put so much effort into Black people being so mediocre. And we take the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Like, look at how we are portrayed in movies. Look at the roles they want to give you, because the most powerful thing you can do is propagandize the people. And you know who understood that very good? Jewish people. The Jews understood that very good, and they understand that now. You know why? Because it happened to them. That's what the Nazis did to Jewish people. They would play messages on loudspeakers about the Jews throughout the day. They would make all of these, drawings, negative drawings of Jewish people, of being shrewd, money-grubbing rats with big ears and big noses, and they will put them in museums. They even they made a picture called Entarte music, which means degenerate music, with a Black man with a saxophone, and basically trying to say that the Jewish people, because I think it was in the early 1900s, Jewish people were coming to America, musicians, and learning jazz from Black musicians and going back out there and playing the music. And then, that music became popular in nightclubs and, parties, and the Nazis didn't want their younger people being indoctrinated by that type of music. So they understood the power of propaganda. And so when they came into power and they got here in America, they control the media here. They control the music industry. Y'all remember during COVID, they had the music executive, Leon Cohen. He was on The Breakfast Club. And Charlemagne specifically asked him, why do you put out the negative images, the negative music? The negative music that's detrimental, in so many words, to the Black community. And his response was, I got mouths to feed. Like, their children are not making that type of music. They're not promoting it to their children, but they will give Black people who are thirsty and starving and hungry and in their mind need to get out of the hood. They'll give Black people a contract to produce that type of music. Now, some of y'all will say, well, Black people don't have to make that type of music. Yeah, if you don't make that type of music, the conscious type of music, conscious rap type of music, like where you have to think and it has a real true message in it, that don't get radio play. That don't get airtime. You could be the best rapper ever and you have the greatest messages, uplifting messages in your music, and it's still listenable. It's not going to get radio play. What's going to get radio play is drill music that's fashioned to destroy your people, twerk music. That's the type of music that's going to get played. And then when it comes to Hollywood, you already know that they took Hollywood over also. Many of them own the NFL teams and the NBA teams. But what the point I'm making is they understood the power of images, and they understood the power of words. And so now that they're in power, they understand what people see a lot on television, on news, they start to actually believe because it happened to them. So if you hear Black on Black crime over and over and over again, you'll start to believe it. If you hear Chirac, Chicago over and over again, it starts to frame your mind to believe that. If you see Black women on the screen fighting and arguing, these are the only shows that get the ratings, right? They're fighting and arguing. You start to believe it. Now, if you start to watch a show like First 48, you start to believe Black people commit a lot of crime because that's all you see. You see, that's what happened to them. And so they in control. So you can't say anything negative about them because what they'll do is they'll shut you down, call you anti-Semitic and all of that. They're not going to let you get that far with saying negative things about them, even if it's true. Well, with Black people, you can do that. And so we have a very negative image of ourselves that we can't even believe that we could be God's chosen people. And of course, other people wouldn't believe it either. They'd be like, those people are God's chosen people. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They're God's chosen people. Man, what are you smoking? I'll believe it when I see it. But when you look at how the world follows us, the world follows Black people, emulates and copies us, even when we're doing wicked and negative things, because we're so dope that we even make bad things look good. Unfortunately, that's how gifted we are. We make bad things look good and people want to emulate that. Black people make drug dealing look good. You ain't supposed to do it. I'm not advocating for a drug dealer. I'm against any drug dealing, but black people make drug dealing look good, right? It's an evil thing. You're destroying your community. You're hurting families, but we make it look good. Black people make sleeping with another man's woman look good and cool, like it's something to do. It's an evil, wicked thing to do. And you putting your life in jeopardy by doing it, but we make it look good. Black women make sexualizing yourself, twerking your funky tail in the air, anywhere and everywhere, make it look good to where little girls and different women from other nationalities want to do it. That's not how a woman should carry herself. That's not how we should promote our women. I push that, but we make it look good. So even with the worst things, we make it look good. How much more if we was doing good things, righteous things, how much better would we be as a people? I don't think nobody hear me though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is the type of leadership that we need. How this South African president is like, if you twerking, you going to jail. If you are part of that community, you can't be here in this country. You got to go. That's the type of leadership we black people need. That's righteous leadership, right? And then we won't be talking about how many broken homes there are and how many, fatherless children there are. If we could start to, implement some things that are righteous, it might not feel good, but change don't feel good. It didn't feel good for me to put down weed. You know what I'm saying? We stuck in a lot of things that they're detrimental to us, and we struggle with letting them go. But letting them go would only make us better people. Anyway, I'm gonna get on to this. I'm gonna get to the Black Authentic Truth story. I appreciate everybody that's rocking with me. You know what I mean? I know I've been talking a long time. I said it was gonna be a short live, and you know how it is, man. I just get to talking and I just keep going and going and going. I'm gonna start having a timer for each story so that I stay on time. Right. So I'm gonna talk about the Muse brothers. Okay. Let me pull a picture up. Righty. This is the Muse brothers, all right? Right. We'll drink some water. George and Willie Muse were the grandsons of former slaves and the sons of tobacco sharecroppers born in Roanoke, Virginia in the 1890s. The two brothers were kidnapped as boys in Trouville, Virginia in 1899 by bounty hunters and forced into the circus. They were falsely told that their mother was dead and that they would never return home. Their mother, Harriet, suspected her sons had been abducted because it was common for bounty hunters to look for new freak show performers. But with nearly 100 traveling circuses in the country at the time, the chances of her laying eyes on her beloved boys were slim to none. Being black, being black albinos made them extremely rare and an extremely lucrative attraction for a circus promoter. Their owners showcased the brothers in circuses where they were exploited for profit in so-called freak shows. The Muse brothers became famous across the United States as Eco and Iko, the white Ecuadorian cannibals, the sheep-headed men, the sheep-headed cannibals, and the ambassadors from Mars. George and Willie were forced to grow their hair into massive dreadlocks, which together with their white skin and bluish eyes were exhibited as something very rare. They were also promoted as Darwin's missing links and nature's greatest mistakes. The boys were not permitted to go to school, nor were they paid for their work. They were literally kept in slavery, earning nothing despite thousands of people who paid to see them. Their only rewards were clownish clothing they wore for the shows and food meant to keep the quote unquote assets alive. One of their owners had found that George and Willie possessed the ability to play any song on almost any instrument from the xylophone to the saxophone and mandolin, which made them even more famous and more valuable to the owners of traveling circuses. Even though many years had passed, their mother had not stopped looking for her boys. In the fall of 1927, the brothers were on a tour with Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey's Circus, making a stop in Roanoke. Little did the boys know they were coming home from which they had disappeared nearly 3 decades earlier. It came to their mother's attention that the circus was in town, and she was determined to find them. It was a tough decision to confront the Ringling Brothers, who were powerful millionaires, who also had the attention of the heavyweight politicians and law enforcement agencies. Harriet spotted her sons and went and had a seat in the back. As the brothers started to perform, she started to walk up. George spotted her first and stopped playing. He then elbows his brother and said, "There's our dear old mother. Look, Willie, she's not dead." The crowd looks confused as the brothers rush from the stage, folding into her arms and hugging their mother. A verbal battle ensues between Harriet, the circus. A verbal battle then ensues between Harriet and the circus manager, the lawyers, and the police. But she refuses to leave without her sons, saying, "They are my children." And she convinced the police to let them leave with her at a time when the police were headed by the Ku Klux Klan. Later, Harriet successfully sued Ringling Brothers for the mistreatment of her sons, winning a large settlement consisting of back pay and fair pay for her sons. The two brothers later chose to go back to work for the circus as paid employees. From Buckingham Palace to the islands of Hawaii, they performed along sword swallowers, giants, and some of the munchkins later cast in The Wizard of Oz. By the 1920s, they were a headline sideshow featured prominently in opening day dispatches written from Madison Square Garden written from Madison Square Garden for the New York Times. Willie died at the age of 108 in 2001, while George, older by 3 years, died in 1972. This is the story of the Muse brothers. All right. It was a good story. You know, I'm sure many people know about the Muse brothers, or at least heard about it before. Let me, this is an image of them with their mother and father. So they were black. They were just albinos, and they were kidnapped and put in a circus. Yes, definitely. It's a good story. You know, the thing that's sad is that they have been in the thing so long, in the circus so long, that even though they were free, you know, they wanted to go back to the circus because it was all they knew from when they were little children. kidnapped while their parents were working in the field. You know, at least they went back and they was getting paid. But this is just another, you know, dark history in the history of America. A story that, you know, needs to be told. But it, you know, they lived to, well, one of the brothers lived to 100. But, you know, I'm glad that their mother was able to reunite with her sons. And the fact that she never gave up, you know, and they were in a whole nother state and just happened to be stopping there for, you know, a little bit. And she was reunited with her sons. The Muse brothers. All right. Anyway, y'all, man, I'm about to get up out of here. I appreciate brothers and sisters. I know it's late. Where you at? I went hella late. Usually I don't go late. I had to do some work. You know, I do camera work, interview. And so my apologies. But for the people that rock with me, you know, I was like, I got to do it. I have to do something. You know what I mean? And so I will definitely be back. I'll try to just do more, be more present. But you know, content creation is very hard. It's not easy when you have so many other responsibilities and you work full time. It's definitely not easy. But Black Authentic Truth is growing, and you know, I'm appreciative for that. I'm appreciative that, you know, people do rock with Black Authentic Truth. You know what I mean? People do. And then I got my main man, Black Rain 303 up in here, always rocking with me, you know, from day one. And, you know, I do cherish those relationships that I made, you know, online over live, just growing and getting better. And, you know, I'm getting better. Trust me, I'm getting better. I'm always trying to do new things. I'm trying to, you know, learn new things all the time in order to get better and to get more efficient when it comes to podcasting, especially live, because live is probably the worst thing you can do because there are so many things that's going wrong. It's safe if you just record videos, but live is probably that one thing where if you're a single person, there's just a multitude of things that could go wrong that are live, or things you might forget because you are the sound man, you're the cameraman, you're the technical man, you're all of those jobs in one. But, you know, if I can do it, I'm going to do it. You already know it's nothing to it. The deeper the roots, the what I was going to say, I was finna rap, but you know what? Never mind. I ain't going to say it. I ain't going to say it. Hey, I appreciate you, Black Rain. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. You know what I mean? Your brother be trying to get it in. All right. So with that, man, y'all have a good night. I'm hungry. Go get something to eat and go home and eat. And, you know, I'll see y'all again very soon. Y'all keep it black and authentic. All right. Peace. This is Black Authentic Truth.